Welcome to our explainer. Today, we're going to uncover some really surprising connections between hair loss and our modern lifestyles. We're talking about factors you might never have even thought about. So let's dive right in. Okay, so what in the world could a bag of chips and a crazy stressful day at work possibly have in common? Seems like two totally different things, right? Well, the answer might just surprise you, and it's really at the core of what we're exploring today. First up, let's talk about something we all deal with every single day, the food we eat. We're going to zoom in on one specific thing that has become almost impossible to avoid in our diets. I mean, just think about your last trip to the grocery store, or grabbing a quick bite at the airport. Processed foods are literally everywhere. And as our source material points out, these super convenient options are often packed with a whole list of additives. Now, one of the key substances we need to talk about is called glyphosate. Now, it's not technically an additive that's put in the food, it's more of a chemical residue from a herbicide that's used like all the time on crops, especially here in the United States. And this is where it gets tricky. You could be trying really hard to eat clean, but this chemical can be incredibly hard to avoid. As the source material says, it somehow ends up in what we're consuming. So what's the big deal when it actually gets into our system? Well, it acts as what's called a microbiome disruptor. So what that means is it can seriously mess with the trillions of good bacteria living in your gut. And that gut ecosystem, it's crucial for everything from absorbing nutrients to your immune system. So when that's out of whack, your body can't absorb the very things your hair follicles need to grow. And listen, this isn't a small thing. The hair loss expert William Gonitz, whose work we're looking at for this explainer, calls glyphosate a huge microbiome disruptor. That word, huge, really tells you how serious the impact on our internal health could be. Okay, so that's the food side of things, but it's not just about what we put in our bodies. The second piece of this puzzle is all about the external pressures we're under. The chronic stress that's just become a part of modern life. I mean, doesn't it feel like our lives are just getting more and more stressful? It's not just coming from one place, it's this constant thing. Pressure from work, personal stuff, and even just the anxiety from what's going on around the world. And all this nonstop stress, it has a very real biological effect. See, first, your body reacts by pumping out higher levels of cortisol. That's the famous stress hormone. Over time, having all that extra cortisol can really disrupt your normal hair growth cycle, pushing more of your hair into a resting phase where it eventually falls out. And that's what can lead to noticeable hair shedding. So now we've got these two totally separate things, right? A chemical in our food messing with our insides, and a hormone response from all the stress we're under. Let's connect the dots and see how they both lead to the exact same place. And when you put them side by side like this, it becomes really clear. On one hand, you've got glyphosate. That's a chemical stressor, and it messes with your gut microbiome, which can lead to not getting enough nutrients. On the other hand, you have chronic stress. That's a psychological stressor that leads to a hormonal imbalance with cortisol. Two very different triggers, but both are putting the body under some serious strain. And here it is, the key takeaway. Both a disrupted gut and a hormonal imbalance from stress are potential triggers for hair loss. It's a pretty powerful example of how completely different pressures from our modern world can all end up leading to the same physical result. So, this leaves us with a really important question to think about. We've talked about two hidden stressors today, but what else is out there in our modern world that might be affecting our health in ways we don't even realize yet? It's definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.